Full confession time. I know. Good. That's good. You'll hear me then. Full confession time. About 20 years ago, I weighed about 230 pounds and had a 42-inch waistline. I stand before you today 50 pounds lighter. I weigh about 185 pounds and possess currently approximately a 32-inch waistline. Yeah, clap that, yeah. I'm not in the best of health, either physically or mentally, but I'm certainly a lot better off than I was about 20 years ago. And when people who knew me back then, they approached me and said, what did you do to lose the weight? Was there something that motivated you? And I wish I could answer that the reasons I wanted to lose weight was because of some I wanted to have a better life or I wanted to be around for my kids or some other high-minded bullshit like that, which is completely wrong, right? The reason I have lost all that weight, I give credit to two people and two people only. I'm going to name them right now. Mary Kate and Ashley Olsen, the Olsen twins. Here's how that happened. About 20 years ago, I was living in Hawaii, and again, I was extraordinarily overweight, especially for my body size. And I couldn't help but notice that I was living in a part of the country in which most people were not overweight. You've probably seen the photos of people enjoying the beaches of Hawaii, and they're usually, taut and fit and tan, and why shouldn't they be? Because they're in the Valhalla of activity right there. The weather's always great. There's no reason why you shouldn't go out and run, and that's precisely what they do, in cut-off midriffs and things like that, right? And so I was sort of self-conscious about that and not a part of it. I was also at the time sort of clinically depressed. I didn't really realize it at the time, but I was in the latter stages, the end game of my marriage. And the reason I was in Hawaii was because my ex-wife was a military officer and I was sort of following her around. And we ended up in Hawaii, and the only job I could get was in retail, despite the fact that I'd once had a pretty promising journalism career. So I was feeling really bad. And I thought, well, I need some sort of creative outlet. Why don't I go back and follow my pedigree of being an actor, right? And like some of you, maybe, I was in the theater in high school and I'd taken acting classes. I've been involved in community theater. And so I thought, yeah, I'll go do some acting. Which of course makes perfect sense. If you're clinically depressed, the one thing you want to do is get involved in an industry in which people work in rejection the way Pablo Picasso worked in blues, right? So I got myself an agent, and my agent's name was Ruth Woodhall. And Ruth Woodhall was an older British expat. There's a lot of expats living in Hawaii. And she was an agent who worked with a lot of the production companies and casting agents in Hawaii. And I'm not making this up, Ruth Woodhall talked exactly like one of those characters that the Monty Python people used to do. So whenever she would call me, it would be like, "Hello, Shawn, hello! Shawn, I've got an audition for you. It's Ruth Woodhall. It's for an automobile commercial. Be at the Alamod Hotel, ballroom number 3, 2 o'clock Sunday. Bring a headshot and a resume. Bye-bye." Or it'd be something like, "Hello, Shawn, it's Ruth Woodhall. I've got an audition for you. It's for a Hawaiian tourism board. You'll play a tourist. Be at the Outrigger Canoe Club. Duke on a motor room, 6 p.m. Sunday. Bring a headshot and a resume. Bye-bye." And so, when I first signed with Ruth, I would get these phone calls about once a week, which for an actor isn't bad, that's pretty good. And of course what was happening is Ruth would sort of send me out on the auditions, because I was brand new and like hot stuff right there. Someone new to the alley, no one had ever seen me before. And I would go on these auditions, and I would end up being paired with people who were sort of these taut, fit, in shape people, and it became pretty clear to me that I wasn't being cast as the person who would be like the face and voice of the commercial. I was like the schlubby friend, the overweight tourist, that kind of person, right? And I don't know if the casting directors or producers could smell the desperation and self-loathing on me, but I never got cast. Even I wasn't even good enough to get cast as that. So the auditions started drying up, and my pepper pot-esque voicemails from Ruth Woodhall became fewer and far between. I didn't hear from Ruth Woodhall for about 8 months, and all of a sudden, out of the blue, I get a phone call from her. "Hello, Shawn! It's Ruth Woodhall. Remember me, your agent boy? I've got an audition for you. It's for a Mary Kate and Ashley Olsen video. It's a 30-minute video. You'll be playing an opera singer. Bring a headshot, resume, Alcohol Hotel, 2 p.m. Bye-bye." And so this sounded pretty, I'm just wondering why she sort of called me out of the blue for this. And so I called Ruth back and got more details. And the details are this. Back about 20 years ago, when the Olsen twins were young, they had this series of videos called the Trenchcoat Twins. Maybe your daughters or granddaughters, I don't sort of get ageist here, watched these things when they were younger. And what they would do, the Trenchcoat Twins, they would go around to various exotic locales around the country and solve mysteries that popped up, which also, these 30-minute mysteries, also acted as sort of advertisement for these exotic locales for family orientation. Brilliant marketing scheme. Brilliant marketing scheme. And we were filming one in the Hilton Hawaiian Village in Hawaii, and I would play an opera singer who misplaces his pitch pipe, and the Trenchcoat Twins would help me find it. And so I thought, okay, thanks, Ruth. And I hung up the phone, and I thought, wait a minute, opera singer? Aren't those guys, well, anyway. So I went on the audition. And needless to say, in the audition room, none of the fit, taut, in-shape people were there. They're all guys like me at the time. Older, younger, paunchier, overweight, right? And the producers and directors wanted us to do 2 things. They wanted to hear our Italian accents. And I did the crappiest, awfulest Italian accent I've ever done. And they also wanted us to sing a bit of opera. Well, back then, my only reference toward opera was from the Looney Tunes commercial that Bugs Bunny did. You guys know what it is? Where he gets in a fight with an opera singer. So I actually just hacked shamelessly, ripped Mel Blanc off, and started going, no, 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 and it floored them. Like, it brought the room down. I don't know what other people were doing when it came to opera, but this is my version. And for some inexplicable reason, about an hour later, I was told that I got the part. So, about 3 weeks passed, and I go to the shoot. I'm not going to bore you with details of a movie shoot, a Hollywood movie shoot, except to say that they really aren't that interesting. They're extraordinarily boring. All you really do is sit around and wait for them to set up the next shot. You hang out at craft services, you talk to the other actors. What are you doing next? What's going on? Not really all that interesting. You set up for hours for like 30 seconds of filming. That's it. So not really interesting. However, I will tell you this. Yes, I did meet and act on camera with Mary Kate and Ashley Olsen as 11-year-olds. You guys want to know a deep, dark secret about the Olsen twins? You guys want to know? Yeah. They're extraordinarily nice people. I'm not kidding. For as nice as any 2 11-year-olds could possibly be, especially to a schlubby, schmucky guy like me at the time. You guys want to know another deep, dark secret about the Olsen twins? Yeah! They worked their asses off. I am not kidding. Child labor laws being what they were, they could only be on set for a few hours a day. And during those few hours, they worked their asses off. Take after take after take after take after take after take. There was a sequence in the video in which they had to sort of sing a song. So they did, I think, lip sync to an audio track that was playing in the background. Take after take after take after take. They didn't complain, they didn't gripe, they didn't moan, they didn't bitch, they didn't whine. They worked their asses off. And I couldn't help but notice that they were working harder at 11 years old than I was as a 30-year-old overweight guy. So we wrapped filming the next day, and they told us the video would be out in a few months. The video came out a few months later. And after the video came out, I learned 3 things. First of all, I learned that these 2 young women, these 2 young ladies, had an extraordinarily huge following. So much so that the video I was in was the best-selling children's video that year. Outdistancing Disney, outdistancing anything else, that video. The one specifically I was in, best-selling. The residuals were pretty damn nice. The second thing I learned was, at about this time, the game or meme of 6 Degrees of Kevin Bacon came out. And someone pointed out and said, hey, you were in a Hollywood movie. I go, yeah. Guess what? You're 3 degrees away from Kevin Bacon. I go, what do you mean? He goes, well, the Olsen twins were in a movie with Steve Guttenberg, and Steve Guttenberg's one of Steve Guttenberg's first movies was with Kevin Bacon in Diner, which was shot right up there, right? So you're 3 degrees away from Kevin Bacon. The third thing I learned was the truth. The video arrived, and I got to see myself on camera for the first time, and I put it in, and I turned it on. Now, you know that old saw where they say the camera adds 10 pounds? Hollywood cameras add about 50 fucking pounds, okay? Not only was I 3 degrees away from Kevin Bacon, I looked like I had eaten Kevin Bacon. I looked like I'd eaten a lot of damn bacon, right? I was fat, punchy, puffy, sweaty. I didn't look healthy at all. But I watched the entire video. In fact, I was shamed by the way I looked into watching the entire video. I even slowed down the parts I was in just to make sure I remembered how awful I looked. I took the video out, put it back in its case, put it back on the top of the shelf, where it sits to this day. I have never seen it since. I then went to my closet, found my unused and willfully ignored running shoes, put them on, and went outside. Thank you.